Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Item 2 is adjustments to the agenda.
I have a handful of adjustments. One's merely a correction. Under 4J, I referenced 9 Boynton Street. That I meant 20 Boynton Street. I have senior citizens building on the brain. But that's...
And I should also reference the change to the tax map number for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is that?
It's I-7
Yep.
dash 0C4 dash 17.
17.
Yes.
Thank you. Under 4F, we have another perpetual care lot to add at Bayside East, lot C7 for Gail O'Hara.
It's actually Bayside West, Ryan, section E. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Bayside West,
C7.
Section E.
Yeah, lot C7.
Gail O'Hara.
Yes.
And that's 550 like the other two. Is that correct?
No, 150.
150. Okay. Let's see if I get the next
That's
one
all
right.
No, I'm sorry, I'm just following through.
All right. And then there are 2 potential additions. One is to add 4N, discussion on the mobile vending unit ordinance, if desired. And that's it.
Do I have a motion to those changes?
I move to make those motions, that change to the agenda.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sarah.
Councilor Vanda Cummings?
Yes.
Councilor Moran?
Yes.
Councilor Stevens?
Yes.
Councilor Boone?
Yes. And I apologize, I meant to excuse Councilor Seeley. He will not be attending tonight's meeting. And we're going to be going to item, no other adjustments. Okay. We're going to item 3, public open forum. It seems like the last couple meetings have gotten a little out of hand with the open forum process. Last meeting was very, how do I want to put this? I don't think it was fair to some individuals because people were calling out people, positions, city employees, and I don't think that that's necessary. And we do have a public forum policy, and I'd like to see us try to adhere more to that. I'd like to have you address me as council president and let me try to answer your questions. It just seems like in the last year or so it's been a lot of people get up to the microphone and they directly go to the manager hoping he's going to answer all the questions. It's the council, it's our meeting. It's not the city manager's meeting. He will cover a lot under his reports, but the meeting should come to me. So, having said that, anybody from the public like to speak under public forum? Please come to the microphone and state who you are, please.
My name is Sue Ellen Hendricks, and I'm from Eastport.
Yes, thank you.
And my question that I have is regarding last meeting. It was mentioned that the city has a backlog of legal items to attend to. And this was put forth because of the question of why multiple lawyers are employed by the city. And my question is, how many items or how long is the backlog? What is the total annual line item budget for legal fees for 2026? And I would assume 2027, since it is a backlog. I don't know how long it goes for. And when do you anticipate the backlog to be caught up?
Okay. I will try to address some of those questions. First of all, thank you for announcing who you are. Secondly, we don't have multiple attorneys. We have 2. That's 1, 2. We have 2 specialized attorneys. The city manager requested a chance to have an attorney that deals with only municipal law. Council Mahar is kind of a general attorney who has been with us for 25 years. So he's a general attorney, but some of the manager's questions were more focused on, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here, foreclosed properties, municipal foreclosed properties. That's a lot of where the backlog is, and we've had so many managers trying to get a grip on it, and As soon as they get a grip, they leave. So it's backlogged, and we're trying to get it caught up, to be fair to the taxpayer, because we have a lot of property out there that needs to be cleaned up, and it needs to be done in a timely fashion. And I'm not sure of the dollar amount, but I can certainly get those for you.
Okay. The dollar amount is important since
Yeah.
you're asking to employ more than one lawyer.
Yeah?
Because the budget is very important to the taxpayers.
Yes.
And it appears wasteful for the council to say, quote unquote, this is from you, sir,
Yes.
I'm unhappy with Dennis's work, yet you insist that he remain on because he has quote unquote history. And it sounds personal instead of just business to me. I don't know how you quantify or qualify someone's work value based upon history, and it sounds costly.
I guess, first of all, I don't know whether I spoke that I was unhappy with. It's
It's a quote from the last meeting. I can play it back for you if you want. It was recorded.
No, I don't need to hear it. If it's there, I'll listen to the meeting, because we have an,
I can only go by what you say, sir.
okay. Well, if I said that, then I'm sorry I said that, because
Me too.
he doesn't work for me. He works for the city.
I would hope so.
Yes, he does. And
And what, I just want to know what it's going to cost us to employ not only Dennis, but another group of employees that have specialties in whatever. I don't know because no one's telling me exactly what it is. All these, it might be real estate, it might be other items, but it's not clear. It's not clear what the money's being spent on and why. And I'm asking why. I think someone should speak to that.
okay, I will do my best to get you an answer,
Thank you.
and hopefully it will answer all of your questions. I will do that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public who'd like to speak? Hearing none, we'll close public open forum. Item 4, new business. 4A, request for letter of support, PV Library Bandstand Restoration Project. Do I have
Could you
a
send us
motion?
a copy of that?
It should have been in your packet, I hope, yes.
I thought I saw that.
It's bandstand restoration. They are attempting to find
Grants and whatnot.
financing for this. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I know. It's a T-Mobile grant through their hometown grants program. And so they're looking to essentially, refurbish the bandstand. There's no commitment, we're not the pass-through, they just want a letter of support.
I make a motion to send a letter of support for the PV Library Bandstand Restoration Project. I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, please, Sarah.
Councilor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Councilor Moran?
Yes.
Councilor Stevens?
Yes.
Councilor Boone?
Yes. 4B, discussion of a proposal, digital equity support for graduating Shed High seniors.
You should have this in your packet as well. Digital Equity Committee has money left over from the Fiber Committee, as you may recall. But it was supposed to help bring fiber to Eastport, and then the city did it on their own, and they said we could retain the funds. So they've been looking for an appropriate use at their last meeting. They were hoping to allocate $2,000. There's more than that. I believe there's 6 in there. I'll double check, but that's a portion of it. To provide up to 5 graduating Shed High School seniors with a laptop or desk computer upon graduation. It was going to be going through a nonprofit, Give IT, Get IT, that would go through all the processes of getting the machines to them. And it doesn't require any city staff time. And Give IT, Get IT was actually willing to match this $2,000, which was not, we have a letter.
I wonder how they were going to get 5 computers.
Yeah,
at 2 grand.
so the actual amount that would be awarded this year would be $4,000, but only $2,000.
And it's not additional money, it's money
Nope,
that's
it's
already
money we're
there.
sitting on, and, yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to, what do we say, grant?
Um,
the money?
To approve the Shed High School Senior Device Program as proposed by the Digital Equity Committee.
I'll make that motion.
So moved, huh?
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hear none. Roll call, please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Meringue?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. 4C, requests for an additional appointment to the Deer Committee.
The request was received by Janice Sullivan back in February 17th. You should have a copy of that.
I'm the liaison for the Deer Committee, and I talked to the chairman of the chairman of the board, we'll say, the head of
Chris.
Walter Cummins is the chair of the Deer Committee. He felt right now that he talked to some of the members. I don't know if he talked to all, he told me he talked to some of the members. They didn't feel they needed any more committee members right now. And he said he'd like to hold, they'd like to hold off right now.
That's interesting.
But I'm just the liaison on that. And but there's another thing coming too. We might not even need the Deer Committee. I mean, there's a survey out there that comes back. If they don't need it, if there's not going to be a hunt, there's not going to be a Deer Committee or whatever. So I don't know how the survey's going. I haven't had a chance to catch up with, on that.
The public can still attend the meetings.
But the meetings are public, they're posted, and the public's welcome to attend on that. And, they're during the day. That's,
Yeah, I have all day.
yeah, that's why I'm the liaison, because I'm the only one not working.
We're still collecting these surveys. Ours have not been retrieved yet. It's a
Yeah, and they're collecting.
So does the board have a feeling or a motion or?
So are you suggesting we not add people to the Deer Committee based on the input from the chair?
From the chair, I would just table it till after the survey comes in. See what happens,
So you want to make the motion to table until the survey results come in?
I think that's fair, the fairest thing, and, anybody's welcome to come to the meeting.
Jana, you're present tonight. Can I ask just one question? When we put this out, requesting people to submit names to be on that committee, you didn't put your name in?
I
and what?
didn't see it.
Oh,
I had no knowledge of you putting it out.
okay.
I saw it after the fact, after I saw that there was a Deer Committee.
Yeah, and I didn't talk to Walter, but I did talk to Chris, and Chris felt that, number one, we should put a limit on how many's on the board, voting members.
Of course.
And, because if we allow one to join, then we must allow all of them to join unless we put a cap on it.
There was a Deer Committee that I was on and it was dissolved.
Right.
And I was a standing member, and I don't understand why some of the people got back on it, but not me.
But
Nobody contacted me and said, hey, we're dissolving the committee you're on.
I don't know. I don't know when that happened.
Walter didn't, Chris Bartlett didn't, nobody did.
I don't know when that happened, but
It was a couple months ago when we went through the committees that were inactive, and the Deer Committee had not been active since we...
Right.
Yeah.
But then it was
Probably like last
immediately
September.
reinstated, I think at the same meeting.
Not,
No, we put it
No,
out.
I think it was advertised in the
We
paper.
advertised in the paper. If I could get you the date, I don't remember when.
I think it was in
fall.
September.
We advertised in the paper for that. It wasn't like we called people up, you want to be on the Deer
Yeah.
Committee. That didn't
I didn't
happen.
see it in the paper, because I don't often get the paper.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we picked people in October, so it had to have been advertised.
September.
September.
How many do you have for members?
I think six
There's
is,
6 right now.
6 is voting members, plus it's open to the public. I mean, the meetings are all public.
Right, but like 6 is like, 7 would make it
Odd,
an odd
Right.
for voting purposes.
right? And I don't know how long, like Council Moran says, if the survey comes back, they may not even have a committee, so
Well,
I wish you to put your name in, because I certainly would have supported you.
I didn't know about it. Put
I
it
know,
in February
yeah, I know. And that was,
when I found out.
and I didn't realize you were on it before. If I'd have known that, I would have said something to you.
Walter knew it, Chris Bartlett knew it.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for them.
I know, but I can tell. We had meetings together.
And I can say that Chris said you were on the committee and you were a good committee member. So I guess I wish you'd put your name in soon. But either way, I will do what we have to
I think it
do.
probably had something to do with the fact that I had a heart condition and I was getting treatment at the time and I wasn't reading the newspapers.
That could have been.
After I had my treatments, then I found out about it.
Yeah.
So I had priorities at the point, you know.
Oh, no, I understand that. We all have those. Either way, I think we have a motion and a second on the floor.
I think it's
We haven't
unfair.
technically made it.
So we
We
haven't?
haven't made any.
Oh, no, okay. That's just a question, then, I guess. So do we want to make a motion?
I'll remember this the next time I vote.
I'll make a motion to table it.
I'll second. Table to the conclusion of the survey to see where it's
Table till
going.
the conclusion of the survey.
Further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please. Sarah?
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. Item 4D, accept donation of $410 from Deputy Shellfish Warden Lawrence Small, volunteer hours, cost to become a certified warden, conservation badges, and 2 shellfish measuring rings.
So is he donating to get those things?
No, he's already done it.
Oh,
We
so
just
he's
have to
saying he
officially
paid.
acknowledge that he gave it to us and we're accepting it, so
Okay.
it's all up and up.
I move to accept the donation of $410 from Deputy Shellfish Warden Lauren Small.
I'll second. Go ahead.
I'll second that.
Sarah's got the pen. We'll see who seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. 4E, approval of sewer commitment, third quarter fiscal year 2026, $176,094.75.
Since sewer is on here, why did the sewer bill go up so much this time?
Because not because
Shouldn't
it
have
was
gone up,
late.
maybe your usage went up. The
No,
rate hasn't gone up.
it was higher, everyone I talked to.
It goes by
Could it be
usage.
because of the
I
delay?
don't
I don't
think so,
believe, no, because it's a flat rate.
It's just a
Have
quarterly.
them call City Hall, I was not aware, we have not received any complaints that I'm aware of. And that bill has been up for some time now.
So this is the standard,
Standard.
okay.
Do I have a motion for that?
I move to approve the sewer commitment of $176,094.75.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes.
Do you have a copy for signature, Ellen? I do, but for sewer, right?
Yes.
Just haven't signed this
I
one?
have the original.
Well, you have the original, so we'll have you sign at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have those all going here. At the end of it, I'll catch.
Okay.
We're on to 4F, perpetual care lots. First one is Bayside West, Section E, lot number 23. The amount of $550 for Victoria Gans. F3 is F2, Hillside West, Gracie Lane, lots 31 and 32, $550, David Mitchell. And lot 3 is Bayside West, Section C7, for $150 for Gail O'Hara.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. 4G, appointments of Rachel Williams to Digital Equity Committee.
Do we have a letter?
This was a request. Ella, did you handle this one?
This came from me, Elaine.
So the chair, this is a request from the committee. Rachel, of course, is a known quantity. She's on the budget committee, but we may actually, I don't believe we have a letter.
I have an email from her. She had actually sent it to Hannah's email.
Oh.
So she followed up with me on it. That's why it's on this agenda.
Was there anything in there apart from the request for her? We have been asking for people to give like some quick summary of why they wish to be on it once they bring it
Yeah,
to
there's
us.
nothing on the email Elaine sent me. I can't speak for what she sent to Hannah, so.
Is this a committee that's short?
I believe they just want some more people to get things done. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who's on it. They're the ones who generated the thing we voted on earlier. I don't believe they have serious impending work right now. If you wanted to push this to 2 weeks, it would not be the end of the world.
To get some special, to get some.
Can you make that note, Ella, that we just want to get a formal request from Rachel, and we will handle this on the April meeting?
Okay.
You want to move to table then?
And move for the chair to give her comment on it.
Yeah. They can talk with me if there's any question.
Okay.
Move to table the appointment of Rachel Williams to the Digital Equity Committee for further information.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Do you want to put the date, or do you want to just wait till
April.
April?
Well, we'll do it April.
April.
Yeah.
Okay. So add that to the motion.
For the April meeting.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. 4H, appointment of council liaison to Energy Committee.
Yeah, this of course has been Jeannie Peacock's pet committee. They've generated a lot of grants, they've done a lot of good things, but she's not a counselor anymore. So we don't have a council liaison, so she requested, if possible, to get on council liaison, and yes, they tend to meet during the day.
So the only one that doesn't work.
Is not doing anything. I'm on like more committees and
Like what time of the day do they meet?
1:15 usually.
Oh, there's no way.
Yeah.
I can meet in the summer, but that's it.
If the only person who's capable of making that time is not able to add another committee, I can certainly tell Jeannie that and explain what the problem is and either see if they want to change
If they
their
meet in the
time.
evening, I can do it.
Okay. I can, or you could just.
You could
suck it up,
try.
Dave.
Try.
No, okay, fair enough, I guess I should say it. All right, I will take that back to them.
Yeah. Okay. So H, we're gonna, no action on H.
I just say no action, we'll pick
Okay.
it up, yeah.
We're on 4I, bid opening results for sidewalk project. Sidewalk project.
Yes. So,
sideway.
yes, after 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, however long, we are at this point. We received 2 bids. They were quite divergent. One was for over $900,000. and we won't need to talk about that any further because by rule you are required to take the lowest bid. This is the way these projects work, is that you are allowed to choose the design firm. The criteria for design firm isn't supposed to take money into concern at all. You just pick the best design firm. And then the flip side of that is this one, which you have to take the lowest unless there's a compelling reason not to. It came in at $435,596, which is more or less in line with what we anticipated. We have sufficient match for it. So Sewell Engineering is our partner, is our project manager on this. They'll be bringing the clerk of the works in and everything else. So they, and the state reviewed the bid. They didn't raise any issues. We called both references. The references had good things to say. We had a phone call with me and Jody O'Neill, the project manager from Sewell, and Howie sat in, and we talked through it. And the bidder is actually grew up in Calais, is working out of Bangor now, is familiar with the folks he will have to subcontract without here to get equipment and whatnot. We believe, to the best of our knowledge, he's capable of executing on the contract. So the next step is to either accept this bid. You do have, I'll just say for completeness sake, the option to reject the bid and therefore the project. And as we said before, that would cost us something $110,000 at this point.
To get nothing.
So it is EMX is the name of accepting the bid from EMX Corporation.
So if we reject that, we've got to pay back the
We
state.
have to pay back the design.
The design.
The full amount of the design. This is a 20% match. We paid 20% of the design, but that would leave about 110, 120.
So we're better off doing.
Now that we're at this point, we have it set aside. I'll be talking, I sent you guys some stuff about capital, and I'll be talking about that in my thing. I believe we're in good shape in the capital fund. Like I said, it's where we thought it was. It was going to be, even if this is not, short. I talked with Howie, so what contingencies can we be worried about? He says, well, you can find some vitreous pipe we don't know about, some storm pipe. But we didn't think that was going to mount into huge amounts of contingency. That was the only risk we could come up with. I will say the contractor, having been from Calais, was saying he really hoped he might be able to get it done by July 4th. I just want to warn you, I'm going to probably tell him to hold his horses, because if he wants it done by July 4th, then it better be done by July 4th. And I think it might be safer to not take that risk.
But
we'll
this
see.
is from Key
We'll start
Street
that
to
discussion.
Battery Street, right?
Key Street to Battery
So
along.
it's not a huge traffic area.
No, just, the question is you don't want to leave, granite curbing out and equipment and that sort of thing. That would be my concern. It would need to be done or nearly done for it to be accepted. So, so the motion would be to accept the bid from EMX Corporation for, let me say that number again. $435,596.
I make the motion to accept the bid for EMX for $435,596 for the sidewalk to finally get done.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. 4J, direct city manager to inform the former owners of the following: 3537 Key Street, tax map I-7, 0C2-21, 20 Boynton Street, tax map I-7-0C4-17, 1A Redoubt Hill, tax map F4OD509, and 9 Snyder Road, tax map E2-0A405.
So just to be clear, we've actually made motions on some of these properties before saying we're willing to move forward. But now that we're finally getting to a point where hopefully we'll get a realtor out, we went back over the details of what had to be done, and there's actually a pretty formal boilerplate letter that's the intent to sale that we have to deliver, and we cannot list the property for 90 days until 90 days have passed from that notification. So since we hadn't done it for all the properties, I'm just bringing all 4 of them again, so there's no confusion about what we have or haven't.
So it'll be the
on
same
foreclosed
date for all 4 of them?
So, but if I could just have that motion, we will send the letters out super quick, and we'll be able to take the next step moving forward.
I move to direct the city manager to inform the former owners of 3537 Key Street, 20 Boynton Street, 1A Readout Hill, and 9 Schneider Road.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Murray?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. 4K, approval of realtor bid policy.
Right, so this is not something we have to force to conclusion tonight, but I would really like to see it done in April if possible, because now we're on the 90-day clock, and at the end of 90 days, we can move forward. Some months ago, I brought forward a proposed policy. It was kind of detailed, and the intent was to basically open the door to anyone who wanted to throw their business card in the fishbowl. And we'd say, go ahead, we'll take the business card out, you get the property for 12 months, you can try to sell it. At the time, there was some concern that maybe it was excessively complex and whatnot. I simplified it a bit, but I haven't received any other concrete suggestions about how to change it, so I'm just bringing that forward. However, now that we have 4 properties, plus we talked at our last meeting that you may want to consider listing the senior center with a realtor. I say maybe we're back at the RFP approach, where we would put out an RFP, which I sent you guys a potential sample. Again, I have no ego in any of this. I'm just trying to give you material to work with. That would be the other way. We'd work with one agent. I don't know if 5 properties is too much to ask one agent to list. There are some things we have to talk about there. But those are the 2 primary paths I can go forward with. Talking around the state. I'll actually be talking to some people in Bangor on Friday about this. I don't know that there's been any more innovative approach to this. I don't know if you've heard anything, Dennis. Yeah.
No.
People are still finding their way.
Yep.
Yeah. But, so it's a time for you guys to talk about what you want to do. If you feel like you can take action on what I provided with you, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, this is a chance at least to talk it out and be prepared so we could do something in it.
So whoever is selected would get all 5 properties? Or
That would be the simplest thing, yes. Yeah.
And 4 of them would need a quick claim deed, which is problematic on the sales.
Right. Not that any of you care when I'm sitting here. I will say there's still a case before the Supreme Court about modifying this. So, yeah, somebody's trying to not just get what you could sell it for, but to get fair market value. In other words, if we took a house that you think you could sell in the open market for $200,000, there's a case where a person is trying to say that's what they should be able to get. They have to sell it for that. It's very unlikely it's going to be found that way. The case itself, which is interesting, it's a problem because it turns out the community in Michigan shouldn't have foreclosed on you probably. And so there's another thing that's confusing in there. But that part was helpful somewhere else. So if you're interested, I'll tell you about that, but I don't think it's going to affect us. And actually one potential remedy is what the state of Maine has already done, which is require a realtor. If you list it with a realtor, you can't argue if the realtor can't sell it right now, but I believe they went to auction on the house in Michigan, and that's where he came from. So anyways, city manager geek stuff.
If council was to choose a realtor, each piece of property that came up, is that against the rules?
No.
I mean, if we feel...
No, I mean, that's certainly...
If we feel that one firm is doing better than another, this first quarter of the year, we could go with that firm, and if we feel the second quarter, a different firm is doing better, can we put a different piece of property with them?
You have total freedom here. So again, Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong at this point, but you're not obligated to go to RFP. That people do it so that it looks good. You want to make sure you've given everyone an opportunity, but certainly the council can choose to do this however they wish to. I put the policy in place so that either if their questions arrive here or future councils want to know how we've done it in the past, it would be written down. But if I believe don't quote me on this in the paper, please, if I got it wrong, but I believe the city of Calais just sort of said, let's go ahead and do it. And they got a bunch of names and they went on from it. But as you know, I tend to like to paper things with words a little bit to make sure we are agreed on what we're doing.
The simplest one is to
Well,
put it out to bid, like, and let one,
So
whoever
property by
wants it.
property,
yeah.
that is what you would say? I'm sorry, say it, maybe I misunderstood you, Dave. Can you say that again?
The simplest thing is to see who wants it in the real estate, put it like out to a bid to the real estate people.
RFP, or
Like,
Right.
and
Put out a
pick one,
request.
then you're not chasing them.
Oh, right, yeah, that would be, assuming
That'd be
that
the
one
simplest
person
thing
can
to
list
do.
everything for us.
Yeah.
Because the RFP, you've seen the RFP,
Yeah.
it's really not that much information in there. And it's, you would not be obligated, you know, you're not obligated, you can take in anybody you want. You can make your own criteria, maybe, you know, maybe someone gives you a slightly lower commission, but if you feel another agent is going to be more capable, you'd be totally within your rights to choose whomever you would wish. I do think that's a little bit cleaner. The problem with putting your name in the fishbowl thing is you just have to make sure you put the name. You only get one property. How often do you do it? How do you get your name back in? And that sort of thing.
Well, yeah. I don't want to be chasing a tail. all
And
the
I'm
time.
hoping we won't be selling a lot of these, but we've got enough right now.
And the Senior Citizen Center, that's the old one, that's a clean sale. I mean, someone ought to jump on that to sell it
Right.
for us.
And that actually complicated things a bit. Is, you know,
Yeah.
we have two different kinds of sales. We want
Right.
two different kinds of process. And
Yeah.
that's when I started leaning towards RFP for that reason. If you feel
Well,
like you've got a realtor you're comfortable with, then it really doesn't matter what you're asking them to sell.
That's what I'm leaning towards. That way you're not chasing your tail all the time, you know. You go to that person.
I guess my question to you would be then, you know, the RFP package I put together, I spent some time on, but I would really, really want to make sure you guys have read it in detail and thought it through. If you feel like you're at that level of confidence, we can certainly adopt it today. But if you want a little more time, we have plenty of time to do it in April.
Well, we're meeting in 2 weeks, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We've got-
Yeah.
Well, that's what he wanted first. He wanted to meet every 2 weeks.
No. No, I mean,
And to be clear, actually, we can't even list these properties until
90
the end of June.
into the end of June.
So if you want to push it out until then, that's fine.
Yeah,
So let's just, I guess at this point, I don't need any action if you're not prepared, but we'll make sure this shows up earlier and earlier on the agenda until we get it done.
Okay.
But we did pass one earlier, yes?
Yes,
No, we never passed
I
it.
thought we did. Oh.
No,
Just
we
talked
brought it
about
forward, but we didn't act on it.
Oh.
Wasn't it to the, some of it's coming back, but I guess my
Oh, I'm
concern
sorry,
was,
sorry.
my concern was if 3 people were interested out of 7, I don't even know how many real estate agents we have.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, the 4th person could say, well, now I'm interested. Can they put their name in the
Yeah,
bowl?
that's it, we don't have.
And then it just,
Yeah,
and I guess I agree with Council Moran that we should have a person.
Yeah.
okay.
And that person's responsible for selling our properties.
So let's make the focus then, look at the RFP package, and let's make sure you're prepared to pass it anyway. And to be clear, we did pass a sale of city property ordinance, which just stated we would go through a realtor. That just brought us into agreement with the state. We didn't say how we take it to a realtor. That's what this policy is for. And that's a policy, not an ordinance.
And we should also have Councilor Seeley here, so that will be a full board decision. So we'll just table K till April, that's good. So we are on 4L, discussion of cell tower lease.
Yeah, so our current, the current company that leases our cell tower is asking to have cell tower lease modified, and I've had interest from another company that might want to take an easement on the tower instead. At this point, I don't have anything formal I'm asking you to act on. I guess I do want to, I need to enter into negotiations and figure out what I think the best option is here. So I guess I don't know if I need an action here unless you want to officially approve that, but I didn't want to move forward on talking to companies and saying, yeah, go ahead and work things up. They'll have
This is the one behind the elementary school.
Yeah. I guess I'm not going to destroy our negotiations any by saying our current lessor would like to reduce the amount of the lease. And I believe the other company is willing to keep it more or less where it was. But I haven't gotten officially, we're not in a commitment phase yet, so.
And we own that tower?
No.
Or just the land?
We own the land,
Land.
and then currently it's leased, and everything on the tower, we don't do anything else with it. We receive $550, yeah, $550 a month, or $500 a month, whatever, between $6,000 and $8,000 at this one. I will say a potential part of the negotiation is to negotiate a lump sum for a perpetual easement, and I will be looking into that. I have some reasons in the short term to potentially like the possibility there. My back of the envelope calculations show that if you take the lump sum, you get the opportunity of costing somewhere between 14 and 18 years. So 18 years from now, someone might be mad at me, but we would have some money up front to get some stuff done. I'd be bringing a final agreement to you, but I want to be able to start that negotiation. And honestly, if someone on the council would like to be part of that, so that you know what I'm considering. But obviously, I'm not sitting here putting all the terms out. I don't want to broadcast what is being offered.
So you just want permission to negotiate?
If you're just comfortable with that, and then I will bring forward the best proposal I think I can see. And again, if one of you would like to be in the loop on that, actually, I'd be more comfortable if one of you were in the loop on that.
Okay.
And I don't know, Billy, if that's all right with you, or if somebody else is particularly interested in it.
I don't have any problem at all.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll work with Billy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need there.
All right. 4M, discussion of proposed amendments to rules and procedures of committees.
This is Ron's.
It's someplace. Back in the summer, when we had all the trouble with the committees about who's where and who's getting added, which is why we added some of the, have a letter of why you want there and that sort of stuff. I looked at the actual policy that we hold, and there were some things that I can't find right now that I thought could have been added or changed. Yeah. Somewhere in your packet, it's colored. The red, like the policy initially, or we don't call it a policy. Yeah, policy. It said the city sets the following rules and procedures for the following, then it listed out the committees. But then what do you do with the committees that are started afterward? So one of the easy ones was that are not expressly defined in the city charter. And then if you look at the ones to the right are the ones that are specifically mentioned in the charter, so that every committee that might come up, it would apply to them. There was no minimum for a committee. That's part of why the disability committee got disbarred, because they only had 2 members. So how do you get a quorum? You either can't or you don't. So a minimum of 3. Currently it says 12. Is that too many? It feels like a lot. Just a suggestion. There is always a conversation about should there be specific set-asides for residents of the city? Like, should we have people from out of town? There are some committees we have people from out of town on them. Some committees it's appropriate. Do we address that in this policy or not? Residents seeking to join a committee should fill out a form or send in a letter of intent to the clerk or the council for consideration as to why was one of the things that we've already kind of added, just unofficially.
Yeah.
3, when they're committed, number 3 said each committee shall establish a statement of purpose, which they were doing, but then they're setting their purpose, whereas sometimes that conflicts with the goals of the council. So should the council be determining what they're doing and for how long? Is this a committee to last forever and ever, hallelujah, amen? Or is it time? And then number 4 was just that their agreements would be in agreement with the participation policy, which was passed after this was written. So those are some of the things that I was looking at, adding or changing for the policy, just to make it cleaner.
I think that cleans it up.
Yeah, I read that one.
So do we all have copies of this? Are we referring to?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, good, just making.
You have another one? Me. But that's okay.
Borrow mine.
No, you're fine, I was looking at Billy's.
So this document's entirely under your control. It's your choice to, what you want, how the changes want to be made. I guess I'll say if you're interested, the only thing the city manager was interested in here was the feeling that we know what the committee's purpose is so that we can do a better job of keeping track of who's doing what in the office.
The only one that's really a question is the residency thing. How do you deal with that when some committees is appropriate? Harbor Committee, there are people from Perry and whatnot, surrounding
Yeah,
areas.
there's a lot of people on there, because not a lot of people in Eastport have votes.
And I don't think Harbor Committee is on, no. That's a non-charter committee.
It seems like in the past, we've had some non-residents on committees, and I almost thought we changed the policy to no more than two-thirds. Two-thirds had to be local residents. Because of the Harbor Committee, there was 2 or 3 people from Perry on it.
The black is what the existing policy was, so I didn't see it in there.
Well, the airport too,
Yeah.
The airport.
you know,
That was the main one, right?
the airport's the big one with the residents on it.
So that could be a way that some would be allowed.
And
Right, yeah, as we have it posted 2019, as far as I know, it's the last time this was modified, it does say of the city, and we have not been compliant.
Those are just my thoughts.
I think though, when you have added somebody who's a non-resident, you've kind of specifically done that. So it's very clear that you're not following the...
Right, we just, I mean, clearly,
Oh, there it is.
there's no, although the policy is supposed to guide you, and obviously if you continue to act in intentional contravention of your policy, that'd be bad, but I don't think there is
Well,
any.
when a new committee is proposed, we give them this policy to follow.
Right.
And they have been following what was written. So, just want to be fair to everyone all around. So you thought it said, what, 2/3 had to be residents of the
Well,
city?
the one that quickly comes to mind, and it was only a couple of years ago, was a resident of Perry, but a business owner in Eastport wanted to be on the budget committee.
Oh,
They're a taxpayer, but they're not a resident. So it kind of throws a monkey wrench into it, because you got a non-resident voting on taxpayer money. But they're a taxpayer through a business. So they do pay taxes in a roundabout way, so, and it's, I guess at the time, I think some of the, I for one would not like to see a non-resident be on the budget committee in the city of Eastport. That's just me.
well, budget is part of the charter.
I understand that. And
A
all of
budget
these
committee
are-
is by charter, its residents, by charter. So I was about to say, looking through some of these, the ones that are in the charter we'll have to look at each of them to make sure, but I would say, maybe we make it clear that these are, that are not explicitly defined in the charter. I'm sorry, so don't worry about it. Those are off. So it's the ad hoc committees that you're creating. And ad hoc committees are, by their definition, advisory. And like I said, there might be, the airport's the best example right now, that we need the expertise of non-residents on that committee. That's the mechanism we've chosen to help us guide, and we couldn't do it without them. So,
I believe the recycling has a few ad hoc members.
Yeah, they
Yes,
do.
they do.
Yeah.
yeah.
they only have a vote on that committee. They don't have a vote to do anything with tax dollars. I mean,
Right, they can vote,
what I'm
that we'd
saying,
like to
they
spend
can-
this much money.
Yeah, then they have to
And
come
just-
to us.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's under $5,000 and it's within their mission and within their budget, I've been approving it. I mean, they only have a $3,000 budget anyways, but, you
Yeah.
know, they said, we need this piece of equipment to do it
Yeah.
there, it's within their budget, I approve it. But yeah, they can't spend money on their own.
Yeah.
So the only thing I might say is that as presented, this isn't quite ready to vote on, right?
Right.
So, I definitely think that some of the city committee, ad hoc committees, and much like in Jana's situation right here now, we should put a cap on it. And I think 12 is too many, and I agree with Jana, it should be an odd number. So if we're gonna do it, let's do it right, and if we think 7 or 9, I think sometimes too many members, it becomes too cumbersome.
Cumbersome.
That's just
And then it
my
gets hard
personal
to
opinion.
track. We sat in some meetings and like, do we have a quorum right now? Because we didn't even know quorum numbers were.
So that's just one for me.
7 seems
I think
like a
7 would be a better number, voting members of that committee. But all these committees are open to the public. All of these committees are open to public input. Many times I've gone to different meetings and I can't count enough people there to vote on things. So if somebody wants to come and be a voting member, then they should be able to get on. But I think it has to be capped. So,
I agree, 12 seems like a lot.
yeah, that's a little excessive. I think they were just trying to fill the seats or whatever. I mean, I don't think you can get 12 at a meeting. I don't. Yeah. Any of those committees that I've ever attended have never had, I don't believe they've had 12 people there. So. But I definitely think that we should table this until the next meeting and at least have a chance to clean it up a little bit more. And I think one of the big ones that we have, a couple of things that I've seen since Brian's been on board with us is the committees are coming out with a purpose, a set goal. This is what the committee's formed for. And the second thing is that they submit, like Jana did tonight, she submitted a letter in request and a reason why she would like to be on that committee. I think those are important things. I mean, I understand emails going to Eller and Hannah and different places, but it needs to be in document form so that we can at least see, and I think those are beneficial things. I mean, I'm all for those.
You might want to wait till May. We've got a lot going in April.
I was going to say, you're starting to fill up your April meeting a bit, but
Yeah, it's only 2 weeks. How can it be filled up?
we did 4 things today.
Okay.
But I think you're fine to table to the next meeting, but we'll put this at the end of the agenda if we run out of time. As given some of the other stuff I'd rather see done, but if you're
That's
okay
what
with
I
that.
was thinking, yeah.
So do you want to make a motion, or do you want to just table that? Or want to give it a date? Or?
I don't know, how do we normally do this, Ella? I usually find just saying, let's carry it to the next agenda.
Yeah, if you're going to table something, you should have
A date.
a motion to reflect that. If there's simply no action, just don't table it and move it to the next meeting or instruct us to put it on the agenda. So that's
We'll-
my understanding.
we'll put it on the April
Is that
agenda.
correct,
Okay.
Dennis?
Okay, yeah, we'll carry it to the April agenda.
All right.
All right.
And we are on 4N, mobile lunch unit discussion. Vendor.
Yeah, so, since I wrote up a bunch of stuff, I'm gonna talk about it. This is just like the last one though, only this one's worse.
This one needs a public
Yeah,
hearing.
so thank you to Rhonda, who made a bunch of notes. on this, but she brought them to me, and I said, I'll try to turn them into language. We have a number of issues here. The first one is, we've had this ordinance on the books since I've been here. I've not been enforcing it because it's just been difficult to enforce. As written, you're supposed to have gotten a victualer's license first, which requires a public hearing here, and then a vote. And then, of course, it requires notification of public hearing. And then once you've acquired that, then you can apply for the mobile vending unit ordinance license, which doesn't require a public hearing, but does require a vote from you. And it's just been, the first year I was here, I didn't know what was going on. Last year, you know what happened last summer. There was no way I was going to deal with that. That in and of itself maybe isn't a problem, except then, except that for special events, you're not required to have a victualer's license, thank goodness, but you are required to have one of these MVU licenses, and we have never asked for that from any special event. And some people believe that you didn't need one, and that actually is true for the vendors and peddlers license for a special event. That ordinance says you don't need a license, but this one says you do. So if we want to enforce this, we're going to have to look to do that. I believe it doesn't cost anything, but and so it might require. I did add something in there, but at present it doesn't cost anything, a special event license. And it wouldn't be impossible, perhaps, to ask people running events to assemble a list of their food trucks and send them to us, at least a month and a half in advance and that sort of thing. And the question, I guess, is to what end? What are you hoping to achieve? Alan Skinner was in. He had some very specific requests. One about being able to have an exception for working in an R2 zone. That begged to me, and that ended up another question, because he also suggested he wanted to be able to move from location to location. As written, this assumes you're going to be in one location that you're going to give information for. Finally, cruise ships. Cruise ships bring food trucks down, so they're just a special event, but there are a lot of them. The port director has expressed the opinion, I don't think it'll surprise anyone, that he thinks they could handle all this by themselves without any of your intervention at all. And I said I'm not sure the municipality wants to give up that control. At the same time, I don't think we want to be involved in having to go through.
But if we're going to do a special
event
events process,
Right.
it needs to be for every special event process.
So this is why I made a bunch of different proposals.
Yes, you did.
Because I figured I'd have to give you the options and separate them. One, I don't even think I printed out the simple one. The simple one was just taking victualler licenses out. I don't remember why that was in there. Oh, I should make it clear. I think it's clear the intent of the ordinance is to protect the brick and mortar restaurants. That
Yes.
They own property, they're paying taxes. You don't want that to be cannibalized by a food truck. I don't know if anyone feels like we're at risk of that right now. And certainly, I don't think during special events or cruise ships. But the part of the ordinance that deals with kind of an everyday or regular food truck, I think is mostly okay. It's just all these special things that we hadn't thought about. So one just took out the victualler license requirement because I thought maybe that was overkill. One is rather extended with respect to special events and being able to move in locations. And that particular one, so that's got, you can see lots of changes in there, but it was me trying to cover all the obvious things that we could deal with. And one attempted to address Alan's issues.
So I want to get back to that one. So you mentioned an R2 zone. That's like putting it in your driveway and selling it out of your house.
That was a specific
You
request.
can't sell it out of the house to be a mobile.
Out of your
You get a
trailer.
certain
But I mean, that's in somebody's neighborhood.
And to be clear, I'm not, at this point, I'm really not advocating, I'm still on the fence, I'm not advocating any of these, but since that got us talking, I thought it was at least fair to do that, but you're correct.
I mean, that's, that would have to go to the zoning board, that would have to,
You might not have to go to the zoning board, but they would have an opinion. I'm sure they would.
I'm sure the neighbors probably would too.
Yeah, exactly. So, just leaving it there, because it had been requested, I wrote up language that would show what it might look like.
You're the neighbor.
Yeah.
I am the neighbor.
Yeah.
I am the neighbor.
But I'm just saying, there's more neighbors than you.
They have issues with parking and whatnot.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Right. And you'll see, we
that's a
tried
big
to figure out-
request.
trying to be a good guy with this one and be as helpful as I can. But we can leave it at that, yeah. So, again, this is one of those things where it's really not, there are a couple of ways to go. It's, with all ordinances, I don't generate language, you guys generate language. And you have to pass a specific language that you want to amend an ordinance by, because it has to go to notification and public hearing. So I don't know how you guys want to go forward with this. My only request to city manager, I guess, is if it is your intention, if your intention is not to change this, I'm going to call the 4th of July committee, the Pirate committee, everybody tomorrow.
The 4th of July committee is very concerned already.
And tell them
That's what I've heard from.
we have to deal with this licensing. And one option I didn't put out there, I mentioned before, is you could, of course, one way of trying to deal with this would be go through and cut out everything but the essential in this. In other words, maybe make less of an ordinance than you think in the long run, but one that'll get us through this year. I wasn't going to tell you what that would look like, but I thought about that at one point, saying, what would be the next thing short of repealing it, which would make all the problems go away, but arguably food trucks could show up anywhere in town and you wouldn't have a tool for asking them to move on.
Well, to me, like a special event like the 4th of July or cruise ship, I can see that downtown. But, to me, we've got to protect our restaurants and our taxpayers and our business people. I mean, these ones are coming in from out of town, except for this new one, that do not pay taxes. And, my deal is we got to keep care of these people that's keeping us afloat. Because Eastport didn't look very good downtown a few years ago. It looks pretty darn good right now.
I'm a man who's good at giving options. Another option is to reduce this to nothing but special events. In other words, to say they are prohibited except during special events, and then put some controls on the special events, just so you know who's coming in, or you know or so that you have defined the special events well. The reason I'm doing this is that I believe last year we made a kind of blanket cruise ship special event thing, but
For the big ships.
Yeah, the thing that's
Big
tricky
ships.
with that, of course, is that those dates can sometimes shift. So there's some language in there to deal with that. But that's another approach. Say we don't do food trucks except during special events, and here's how we handle them during special events.
I'd be inclined to support that.
I would be willing, as always, to try to generate language, try to generate a version of that reflected that. Would you like to discuss this at the April meeting?
This feels like
Well,
a
we gotta-
workshop is needed more than,
We
Yeah.
got to move on this.
This one-
We can't hold the 4th of
Yeah.
July.
right.
So,
This feels more like a workshop than a meeting.
Yeah.
Just to get together at a table, bang it out.
At the end of the day, though, we got to take a common sense approach to this. We can't just let anybody come in here anytime they want.
Has that been occurring?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. 'Cause I don't come downtown very
without
often.
naming names, there was one vendor who, the first year I was here, had gone through all the process to get their license. Last year, there was someone who was regularly here but had not gone through the process. No one was complaining. I didn't receive any issues about it, and I was not in a position to enforce. I knew what was going on, but I didn't deal with it then. But that's why it's important to me now, because we can't just have it on the books and not deal with it.
But I think it's fair to have a workshop prior to trying to make any decision, because as the port director did indicate, he would like to be involved in that, because the last 2 weeks there's been food trucks on the pier. So is that fair to somebody in town that would like to have one, but we can't because we don't want to allow it, but yet the Port Authority is going to allow it all over theirs? And I don't want to be one to stifle economic growth. I know in the last couple of years, Danny Sullivan had his pizza up here every Wednesday. Many people look forward to it. Danny's he's a local boy, but he's not a local taxpayer, and he's not a brick and mortar, but he had a set schedule, and everybody knew that they could count on that place for that night. And sometimes, not so much in the summer, but sometimes in the winter, you need outlets to have a extra place to go. You don't have just the same 1, 2, or 3. But I certainly would encourage a workshop, and I think it would be beneficial to the board to hear all sides. I tend to agree with Councilor Mering, and I sympathize with Councilor Stevens if they have it in a residential zone. That isn't your do yet.
That's why some of the things I put in is
Parking
considering
would be
that.
a big issue, and there's a lot of issues there, I think, so. I don't know what kind of a date we can come up with for a workshop.
Well, our meeting is April 8th.
Want to do it April 1st?
Trying to think what my schedule is.
No.
Can't do it next Monday. The rest of the week is open for me, I think.
The first would in fact be a Wednesday. It would be this time next week.
That's the first.
I can do it.
You want to do it on April Fools?
Sure.
What time? I have something I've got to do by 4 o'clock. So
Tuesday better night?
Tuesday would be better for me, I think.
Tuesday, good.
31st?
Yeah. I think it's important we get it in before the 8th, the meeting. So if we can take any action, we can take it on that 8th.
Take a look. I don't think it matters to
What day?
me. Not that you necessarily even have to have it here, but I am able to make the
April 1st.
31st.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I could do that Wednesday. I can do.
You can do the 1st?
Yeah, I can do Wednesday, yeah. It's Tuesday, I've got to go somewhere.
So
So do we?
So Wednesday, April
Workshop, we
1st?
don't need,
Yeah.
we're
we're not having any minutes or anything, it's just a workshop, right?
Yeah, we should still put out a notice so people know.
The first, is that what you're looking at?
Yeah,
Right.
we can get, an agenda, we can just say workshop.
Yeah.
For the
meeting
mobile
there.
vending.
Yeah.
Don't take any, so the idea would be you have a workshop, you might even come up with something at the end, but you don't necessarily take action until the 8th. You'll make the motion on the 8th to amend.
Yeah.
Or you could have a workshop with a single item agenda, action on
Yeah.
motor vehicle ordinance amendment. We'd have time
You
to
can
post
hold a
that.
workshop and even go into a meeting to decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
Well, if we do that, it'll
That'd
be
be,
2 weeks.
No, we can
No,
do
just
it.
do the same
Yeah,
night.
you can do- yeah, you're not actually acting, you're proposing the amendment. At that point, we have to go to public hearing notice and everything else. But for just the workshop and the initial motion, you could walk into any meeting and say, I have an amendment, and make a motion. You don't have to do anything special. It's after you make that motion. So the first, at 6 o'clock, we'd like to be here.
6, here at City Hall. Do you want
Yeah.
public?
Hell, yeah, you
The
gotta
public
have
may be
it.
interested, and I know the port director will be interested, so I'm sure he'll be happy to have us down here.
Oh, when's he leaving? No, yeah, he's leaving, yeah. Morgan's going.
We might want to check their schedule and make sure they don't have.
Well, I think you should go ahead and schedule for when you want to, and Ella, if you can, I can ask you to contact him tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Morgan
All
will
right.
be in Florida.
We're supposed to
But-
follow a week, right?
I'm sure I'll get an earful before she leaves.
So next
Next
Wednesday at
Wednesday.
6 is a workshop and tentative motion if we decide we need one.
Do we need a motion to go to workshop or just call it?
Yeah, I would do a
Motion.
motion.
I make a motion to have a workshop on the mobile vending unit ordinance for April 1st at 6 PM.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Meringue?
Yes,
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes.
It gives you an opportunity if AJ's able to make it.
Yeah.
Item 5, minutes of previous meetings, February 11th, 2026.
That was another one, wasn't it? I move to accept the minutes from the February meeting.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Meringue?
yes,
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. Item 6, city manager's report.
All right, I've got a number of things today. First off, the Vanass grant generator for the sewer, that grant was officially approved this week. The match on that is $47,000, and that's in my capital plan here. I just want to say that again because it's possible that match changed, and I can't find a motion acknowledging it from the council. This is a little bit like what happened with the sidewalk grant, you may recall. I had to go hunting for when did we set this aside and everything else. But
We
this
talked
from
about that grant 2 or 3 times.
That's what I
now.
thought. Yeah, we went from a 10% to a 25% match. I just wanted to say out loud again, it's a 25% match, will be $47,000. It's a necessary generator upgrade out of finance. I will say, and we can talk about this, well, we can talk about that right now, that match, we do not have a sewer reserve, you may recall. We do, but we created it last year. So there's essentially nothing in it. So this will have to come out of general fund as a match. That won't have to, let me rephrase that. That, I think, is how we've done things in the past. That's certainly how Middle Street worked. Nobody, I think, acknowledged it at the time, but the Middle Street work that was done out there for the generator, that came out of the... We have not yet crossed the bridge on the sewer budget and budget committee right now. So we can look into, there is some infrastructure money in there and whatnot. There's not 47,000. So I will probably be coming back to you at the next meeting or the meeting after to approve some portion of that to come from the general fund. And we can, if we have issues with that, we can cross it at that point, but I just wanted to bring that up. I just wanted to talk about a request from, Reed, you still here?
I'm still here, sir.
There you go. They've been coming to me with some frequency, asking if we could do anything to try to find a way to get him a ACO vehicle on the cheap.
Know anyone available, Reed?
Well, we have a couple of options. The reason I wanted to bring this up, I have discretion up to a certain amount to go ahead and take action anyways, but I didn't want to do that. There's potentially one vehicle still out there, and the county is putting a bunch of old vehicles out to bid right now as well. I'm inclined, and the benefit with I think all these vehicles, they are set up for the ACO. They've got a cage in them and everything else like that. And I gather we had one in the past. I don't know how long ago. Were you ever working with it when a working ACO vehicle?
I didn't work when we had a working ACO vehicle. The vehicle that I use now is something that the council graciously accepted a low bid on, so I could purchase a former police cruiser, use the cage and that kind of stuff. I've been happily using that for 3 years, but that vehicle is now also fallen into disrepair.
Okay.
Last one we had was a pickup. Tim they had, yeah.
Well, I think we finally got rid of that.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah. So I don't need an action on this unless, and I guess I'll talk with Reed here. For some reason, we think we're looking at an amount that might exceed my discretion. I will have to make a change. We already went through ACO in budget. We need to have a line for insurance and gas and whatnot. It won't be large, but it's going to increase that budget. But that will give him, well, you'll see if you look at, we'll get to the financial report in just a second. ACO is through the roof right now, in part because you had to drive back and forth with that animal for.
Yeah, just 3 or 4 months along, I'm racking up 1,000 miles in reimbursement requests.
We're getting mileage right now, so we wouldn't be paying that anymore. We'd be trading that off for this other expense. And I think it's just better to have a safe vehicle and whatnot. We don't have a lot of ACO activity, but we've had a couple of things where...
You don't need it till you need it.
Exactly. So because it's a capital purchase, I didn't want you to hear one day that the city manager bought a car and you didn't know why. So we'll be looking into it, and if it's going to be over my discretionary, we'll all have to come back to you for that. Anything you wanted to add, Reed?
I mean, as I was talking to you before, I know budgeting kind of interferes with things, but a municipal vehicle, I'm not even talking about just an ACO vehicle, this can be used by fire department, EMS, ACO. I would put a stipend on it that did not go to the police department. There are plenty of cruisers there. They have their own expense line, that kind of stuff. I don't want a vehicle that costs more than $5,000. Pleasant Point Police Department is willing to cut an excellent deal on one of their cruisers that is well equipped to handle the job. If I were to depart tomorrow, when you try to recruit another animal control officer, hey, here's a job, get your own car, do your own thing, might make it difficult. Having an ACO is a state mandate, so that can put the city in a little bit of hot water if they don't have one. It'll just set the position up a little bit better for a few years down the road. I use my own car. I'm happy to use my own car. Anything in town, I do not get reimbursed for mileage. Only outside of town, I get reimbursed for mileage. I do quite a few trips back and forth to the courts. You got to go to Calais, see the clerk there, go down to the Chives, get the judge to sign the paperwork, come back to Calais, get it filed. There's all sorts of wild stuff. Our contracted shelter is up at Calais. Anytime I pick up an animal, I can bring it all the way to Calais. If Perry is gracious enough to let me hold an animal in their facility overnight, that's just in Perry. But I never would have imagined there's that much driving and that much transport into the animal control business, which there is. And then another thing, I'm trying to make it multi-use, the municipal shellfish warden role. That's another thing. I'm taking my own car, I'm patrolling in town. If I'm in town, I'm not getting mileage reimbursement. That kind of stuff is just, that's why I'm pitching the idea. One for my own, that these are the troubles I'm running into, and two, in the future, if these positions need to be filled, that might be a huge help. The car I'm after has air conditioning, it has a cage, and what I have now is a cage, doesn't have air conditioning. There's just been some problems in the past that I'd like to go over. Something cheap. I'm not talking going out and buying a $10,000, $15,000 car. I'm looking specifically for the Pleasant Point Police Cruiser that they're willing to do no more than $5,000. They've already agreed to get it serviced, all set and ready to go for us.
Not to throw a wrench in anything, but what's this cruiser that just sits up here in the port yard? Is this any good?
The black police cruiser.
The black
Yeah.
cruiser.
It just sits there, ride by, see it every day.
Yeah, that's our if everything else needs work thing. It runs.
Oh, okay. So
It has some transmission stuff, so we're not running it too hard right now.
So that
We're
wouldn't work
hoping
for this.
I'm not hoping to buy, I'm hoping to skip next year on a cruiser. I've got my fiscal year 28. I think we might
Well, I
need
just
to-
think we could flip that to Reed if it,
Yeah, no, that still gives us some other backup right now. Right, I mean, we're hoping we'll be in better shape, but, we had to run that hybrid one to Hampton twice this year. All the lights are off, so we think we're gonna be good. But when we did that, we needed that to back us up. All right. Financial report, I distributed that to you there. It looks kind of like last month, except it's more a little further through the year. The headline is we're 73.2% of the way through the year. Our expenditure is 70.3. I'd be happy if it was like 68. We'd be way under, but that's probably not realistic. The overages you've seen before, admin's overdue to auditing, legal and some building repair. We talked about ACO just now. Debt and insurance are slightly over. That's just budgeting, rounding for me. We're going to get a little bit closer, but over by 2%, something like that. Programs are way over because of the remodeling of the youth center. I think we're in good shape. I'm waiting to see, when I look at the pattern of expenditure just out of our general fund, it looks like it's a pretty straight, smooth line for the rest of the year. We only got a quarter of the year left anyway, so we don't have that much space to get out of whack. But, yeah.
Economic development, what do we say?
Economic development, that is almost fully expended. That is mostly actually the contract to clean the bathrooms here. We pay Paula, and that's an agreement that goes back many years with the Chamber of Commerce to do that. There's also an ad, which we're talking about right now, that's typically been in a state of Maine publication, the big tourism publication, but they're reconsidering what they're doing there. That's getting less stuff there, but there's some money in there for that. And electrical fixes to electric infrastructure downtown. So we had, like, for the street lamps, for all the holiday stuff, the outlets up there were rusted out. And we don't actually have a line for that. So I'm bumping economic development this coming budget to make sure you have someplace to put it. I didn't print out your fund balance thing. Our fund balance is fine, though. You've seen that graph where it is. It's right where it was before. Even with us paying out the extra money to the county, I think we're in good shape. Our fiscal year 24 audit is essentially done. We were sent the final copy. I approved it. We just haven't printed the final yet. That shows us with the unassigned balance of $1.18 million, which is good. arguably almost too good. It's actually at the top of our unassigned balance policy. I'll talk about that more when we get more information together, but what that's going to enable us to do is potentially get some capital done, because we had exhausted capital. Capital's in better shape than we thought, because 2 years in, me and the treasurer, we had talked, I believe I talked to like the last year, we actually made a capital fund. Turns out we actually had one in there, it had like $100,000 in there, but we hadn't been doing activity on it, so we didn't know it was an active fund. That's been audited, and I think we're in pretty good shape. I've sent you, and I'm not going to ask for anything today, I've sent you essentially a revised potential capital plan. I want to talk with the auditors and make sure I'm reading everything right. But it is possible I will be coming to you in April or May asking to put the City Hall roof out to bid. When I look at our capital projects, that's one that just has to happen. I'm waiting for a day for a wind like we had last week to come up and take a whole course right off, and then we're going to have to do something. And maybe do something interior there. I've also put together the idea, I think we can now, you authorized me to go to bid on a reval, but we haven't gotten the bid package together yet. But I'm planning to do that this coming month to see who responds. Assuming that that's going to cost us $100,000 twice over 2 years, we should still have enough money for that. We're okay. We're not going to be, we're not swimming in stuff. It's, given how much stuff has been neglected and how cautious I've been about trying to spend money, I think we're in pretty good shape. You should have from before the police report. That was just to the end of February. I just want to point out we covered 90% of our calls. So that's my primary tool for measuring the police department, that and staying on budget, which they also are. There are some other ones in there. Everyone's doing a pretty good job. I don't think there's anything I have to pull out on that. And if I may, I'd like to respond with respect to legal. I've said this in this meeting a couple times now. I'll say it again. We do not employ 2 lawyers. We have 2 lawyers who work for us. So we only pay hourly. It's not like anyone. Well, Dennis is on retainer, but that essentially covers his time here. The other, Drummond Winchell, is not on retainer. They only charge for the hours they work. And obviously it's legal. I can't go into everything that we're working on, but I will point out, yes, we're having to untangle foreclosures and purchase agreements, which have been on there for years and are really a mess. There were questions about paper streets. Policies that we passed that really needed a legal eye on them to make sure they were okay. Our HR policy, which they haven't even gotten yet, but we're going to be getting onto that. That sort of thing. FOA request, public access, bunch of things that just haven't been taken care of. Our legal budget, I believe, for this year was $10,000. And we will exceed it this year, not by a whole lot, but we'll be within here, but there's a lot we had to go through. And I believe I have to look, it's 9,000, and we will and I'm asking for 10,000 next year to continue on with that.
Will that get rid of your backlog?
We'll see where we are with foreclosures at that point. That's a messy one. That's going to take a long time.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah. So, but we're getting there. I mean, part of what's going on here is we were missing policies, and like our internal controls policy had never been reviewed, or it hadn't been reviewed since I was here and we made changes. It's just stuff that had been left sitting for so long. So I can't tell you today that I know everything that's on the backlog, frankly. I'm still, as I'm going through here, learning. It would be good to have. I, for example, have a liquor option policy I'd like them to look at. Spend an hour looking at, nothing else. An hour will cost $225. That's what it costs to have a lawyer. But I want it to be done right. So we'll do what we can. I do not enjoy signing legal bills. If that makes it feel any better. But it's a necessary part of doing business. I believe I have covered sewer grant match, capital planning. I'll bring that up at the next meeting. That's it. Unless anyone has anything you want from me, that's it.
Thank you, Brian, for your report. Item 7, council liaison updates and issues.
I just get back, so I haven't got much.
Good, Colleen? Rhonda?
I went to my first ambulance meeting, but that's a whole lot of new learning.
Yeah, well, we're very fortunate we have it.
Yes.
Our stipend will be rising, but only by about 4% right now. It's better than I thought we'd do, and I'll be getting my hands, she's going to do all the voting, I'm getting my hands into the numbers now on there, but right now it's looking okay.
He can't help himself.
Yeah.
I think the city is very fortunate to be able to retain that service because the alternative isn't looking good. And a lot of municipalities don't have the luxury we have, so.
Well, there was some conversation about how the Down East emergency system is going to be stretched. They're taking on Cutler. They're talking about Dennisville closing, so they would have to pick up.
I think Wayne Seeley's going to retire.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Or at least that's,
He's done that forever.
he's saying it, yeah, you know,
Wow.
yeah.
We're very
He's
lucky.
80,
Yeah, well.
never runs 81.
Enjoy it.
Unfortunately, I missed both of my meetings. The airport I did not make. I do know June 11th, they're doing the Sky Hopes
Yep.
benefit dinner at the Wacko. June 20th
That
is
sounds
the
right.
airport days. That's the poll. The seniors, I didn't get out there. I do know we still have some flooding issues. Hopefully we're going to be able to get those addressed and taken care of for long because the pool table group has been voted in, but they don't want to put the table in the basement.
I don't blame them.
The water's coming in, so we're hoping to get that taken care of, but it's getting a lot more use and there's a lot more community involvement out there, so I'm pleased with that. So. And other than that, I've been watching the budget hearings and budget meetings. I did go to one, but AJ's, that's his meetings. I, like all of you, are taxpayers. We all need to be concerned with what's happening with our tax dollars. So I do try to stay abreast of it, and hopefully we can get through this without being too painful this year. Any increase is painful. I heard today fuel oil was $5.80 a gallon. Talk about painful. Wow.
Yeah,
So,
garbage oil essentially, yeah.
yeah. So with that, I guess I will entertain a motion to go into item 8, executive session.
Is it
Whoops.
possible to ask a question that I couldn't ask before because I didn't know at the beginning for the public forum?
You can ask a question. Sure, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, under rules and procedures of committees, is it normal procedure for committee members to decide who can and cannot join?
No, they don't make the decision. The council does.
Okay. As you know, I sent a letter,
Yes,
and I had previous experience, and I put that in my letter.
yes.
It sounded to me like what Councilor Moran said was that the current members had decided they didn't need me.
They didn't say
No, they didn't need you, no.
They didn't say
They
you.
said they didn't need any more voting members.
But how, that's not a normal procedure for committees to do that. When
It isn't up to the committee, it's up to the council.
It is part of the liaison's job to listen to the concerns of the committee.
I get that.
Okay.
But like all the other committees, this is the first time I've ever heard of this happening on a committee. Like when someone asks to join, if it's not 12 or over, over 12, this, do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, but it's like, I feel if we allow one and 10 more come in tomorrow, we gotta allow all 10. Because we just set that precedence.
No.
Yes,
You have a policy and procedure right now that allows 12. Now, my request made 7. They had 5, they allowed, I can't remember his first name, but last name was Weston, I read that. He was added in.
Karen,
Yes.
I don't think Karen was after the
I
fact.
believe he came in a month after the.
Yes,
after the
because
first
I
one.
looked that up.
He was at the first, he was at the first meeting.
October.
I looked
he was-
that up.
I could
He
look
came
it
in
up.
later.
He was at the
So
first meeting.
they allowed one other person to come in later after the fact, and I'm only one other person, which would bring the total to 7, not over 12.
Well, We haven't decided whether or not we're
Well,
going
I
to take
know,
any
but
more.
it sounds
And the
like-
next meeting, you may be the one that we
I
take.
hope so, because I'm the one that put in for it.
But I hope you see our side too, Jana. We don't want it to get too overloaded. And,
7 isn't going to make it overloaded.
no, I agree with you. So at the next meeting, hopefully we'll have some more clarification on it. And we may not even need the committee if that survey
But
comes
that would
through.
be great if we don't need the committee.
It may be. I haven't been to any of those, so I have no idea.
Kind of,
I don't have any idea.
I think I get it really well, so.
But thank you for your interest, and I hope that we can get you on there and it will work out. But you still can go to those meetings. Don't stop going just because you're not on the committee. It's open to the public.
I haven't seen them posted though. Are they?
Where do you post them?
I don't.
They get posted on the website, and they get posted, they should be posted at City Hall, in the front hall,
Okay.
the two banks, the IGA, and the post office.
Post office board.
Yeah, the statutory requirement is 48 hours notice, and I don't believe they have a meeting scheduled at present.
No, there's nothing till the survey.
If you'd like, this might be a good thing, we have a new website up. You should be able, if you create an account on that website, you should be able to request getting notifications about things like this. I honestly don't know how it works, but I'm just putting it out there as maybe this is a good chance to experiment with it. We haven't had it, we're doing the best we can, but yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Cecil,
So I can go and not come back. The reason I'm here is on the last school board meeting, I volunteered to be on the building committee, like to get a unified estimate of repairs for the schools. And Paul was in that, and I thought maybe he'd be down here, that was on the agenda. I wanted to know what I signed up for, if anything.
nothing here.
Nothing here, that's a school.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, I'll catch Paul. He's ahead of it, I know that.
Yeah, I don't even know that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But, sorry, Cecil. All right, do I have a motion?
7:32, I move to go into executive session for personal matters, Title I, MRSA 4056A, in consultation with legal counsel, Title I, MRSA 4056E.
Oh, I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Ray?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
8:05, I make the motion to come out of executive session. I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Ray?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes, we're on item 10.
Action, so there is no action.
No, item 9. Action from executive session, if there is any.
None.
Hearing none, now we're on item 10.
8:06, I move to adjourn.
Second it.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sarah.
Counselor Dana Cummings?
Yes.
Counselor Ray?
Yes.
Counselor Stevens?
Yes.
Counselor Boone?
Yes. Wow.